All right, how's it going, everybody? My name's Antonio, and I'm an addict. All right, so I've been clean for 2 years and 2 months. My clean date is on February 6th, 2022. So I'm just gonna kind of start it off at the beginning, I guess, of where I'm from and how it all started. So I'm from Missoula, Montana, and I grew up out there with just my brother and I and my mom. She basically did everything for us. I grew up my whole life without my dad, and everything like in my life was set up to be good. I was going to school, I was doing everything I was supposed to do, and then I guess I just kind of got caught up in the wrong thing. And it also was a little hard because my mom has a mental illness, so it was kind of rough at the house, just different types of things going on all the time. So I guess I kind of started using as a way to kind of escape from all that. So I just started smoking weed. I was hanging out with my friends, the wrong type of people, I guess. And then the weed, that just started turning into other stuff. And while I was going to school, I really didn't like going to school, at the time, but I was happy that I was able to finish it. Um, yeah, so I guess like the weed turned into the other stuff, and sorry, I kind of just lost my train of thought. Um, yeah, so basically from there, I graduated high school, right, in 2017, and I was happy that I was able to do that, to be able to get my high school diploma and, just have that accomplishment. Um, from there, I guess towards the end of the school year is when things really started to kick off. I came home from school one day, and that was when all my stuff was out at the front, and my mom had put it out there with a sign on it that said "free" on it with a smiley face. And yeah, so that's basically when I've been on my own ever since then. I was 17 years old, and I just remember I had carried all my stuff over to my friend's house, all my clothes, and he let me store it there, and I stayed there for a while, and then eventually that's when I started getting into the harder stuff, and then, time goes on, and I eventually decided to leave Montana, and then that's when I end up in Washington, and out in Washington, things were going cool. I was working out there. Um, yeah, I was working as a security, and then that's when I got involved with heroin, which was my main drug of choice. Was heroin. Once I started using that, that's when everything just went downhill from there. And yeah, and then also, so when I was out in Washington, like one of the main reasons I came out here to California was because my mom had got back in contact with me. So I was probably like 18, 19 at this point, and I hadn't heard from her since then. So she's like, this and this. She's out in California, so I come out to California. Kind of just left everything behind out there, and my intentions were coming out here to California that I really just wanted to get off of all the stuff I was doing out there. I wanted to stop using heroin, the Xanax pills, and all that. And so on the bus ride, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna stop doing this. I'm gonna just have a clean slate coming out here to California. And basically, when I got out here, I was doing the whole thing on the bus. I was sick, and then I got out here, and my mom wasn't doing too good at the time. So I was just like, you know what? After that, I just went right back to it. I started doing it all over again. And anyways, time goes on, doing all that type of stuff. I really wanted to get help, the whole time I was doing everything for like the 6 years consistently every day. I wanted to stop what I was doing, but I didn't know how to, like, the proper channels to go through to get off of the drugs, and I didn't know there was any type of help like places like this or any type of facility. So I was just kind of lost trying to do it on my own. And then one day I decided, I dialed 911 on a payphone, and I was like, I'm trying to get off of drugs. I don't know what to do, and they sent an ambulance out there, and I'm like, I just need help. Like, I'm stuck. And they're like, dude, this isn't a taxi service. We're not gonna just take you to the hospital. I'm like, well, can't you do anything, whatever, and they ended up actually eventually taking me to a detox center. And then while I was at the detox center, I went to Positive Steps. That's where I went. That's the inpatient program that I went through. I went to Positive Steps, and I got a first sense of like what this is all about, the recovery, and how it feels to be around people like this, like-minded people trying to do the right thing. And it just felt good to be there and just experience what it feels like to be clean. And I was doing good for a little bit, and I just ended up throwing it away again when I was there. I was clean for maybe 6 months. I went to another sober living place, and then I left and went back out. And then the clean day on February 6th of 2022, when I eventually decided to come back, I remember I had called the place that I went to, and I ended up going back to Positive Steps. And, I was super grateful and thankful that I did decide to do that, because I almost didn't. I was I was at the detox center, and I almost left and went back out and did it all over again. But, I was just super thankful that I did. And then I did my whole 3 months at Positive Steps. And then that's when I ended up here at Fred Brown. And I was a client here at Fred Brown for a good amount of time. And I'm just super grateful that I ended up here instead of another place, I guess. But, just the environment here, all the people here, it's just a whole different atmosphere and feeling. It feels like a home, It's not like, I guess how I see it is not like another facility type thing. Everyone here really cares about you, and just the people you meet and the experiences that you have here, it's just a little different, and I'm just grateful that I was able to do that, to be a part of that as a client. And now I'm currently a house manager at 239. It's another thing I'm super grateful for too, to be a part of that as well, to just to work with the guys and just help everyone out, and just be there where I can, and just just that type of stuff. What else was I gonna say? Yeah, I guess I guess one of the main things that really helps me out a lot, is just, the people that you surround yourself with. This was worked for me a lot. It's just like the people that you surround yourself with, it just helps out to, like I said already, to have like-minded people, just like all the old people and all the old connections that you have. It's just better to just get rid of all that, have no ties to anything that might bring you back or tie you down to the past, like for me, like another thing that I struggled with before was the past. I'd always be thinking about the past, thinking of the things that I went through, and the thing that I look at it like, it's just like, for the past, it's in the past, like it's over with, it's done. Like you just gotta, like for me, I just remember, like it's over with. As long as you try and learn from all the mistakes and all the things that have happened, it's like kind of like history, that's why there's history. It's just so you can learn from it and make sure that it doesn't repeat itself, For me, like the way I look at it too is all the hard things that I went through in my life, I kind of feel like kind of grateful in a way that kind of things turned out the way they did, because it kind of helped forge the person I am today, So I'm just kind of, just kind of grateful, like all the trials and tribunals that I went through, to be able to be here and, be a part of all this, So I guess that's kind of all I got.